So I'm with Joseph from ISTE. Thank you for talking to us. And this is your first time at GESS. Perhaps you could tell me a bit about what made you want to become an educator?
Sure. So when I was a student myself, I lived in rural areas that didn't have a lot of resources, but I had some wonderful teachers who really brought technology into my learning in a way that was transformative. And when I experienced that power myself, I really wanted to share that with others as well.
And so part of your talk is looking at how important it is to put learning first rather than technology. Why is that?
So this is a mistake that a lot of people make, including entire governments. It's easy to buy devices. You can count them, you can ship them, and they're shiny and they're nice. But the device itself doesn't change anything. You can do the very same ineffective things with a computer that you can do without a computer. And so by putting learning first and technology second, you're able to make sure that you're using that technology in a transformative way.
Okay, so you're one of our keynotes on day one of the show. Do you want to tell me a bit about your talk and what people can expect from your talk?
Sure. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the ISTE Standards and how they help us think about using technology in active ways rather than passive ways. So often when you go into a school and you see the technology there, it's basically being used not much differently than a television set would have been used 50 years ago. We really need to think about using technology as a tool in the hands of students so that they can create, they can solve, they can collaborate, and they can become digital creators.
Great, so it's all about empowering students to really take charge of their learning through technology?
One of the things that I think is so powerful about technology is its ability to empower a learner. When a learner takes ownership of their own learning, when they realize that technology gives them superpowers, the ability to express themselves in ways they've never done before, the ability to create things they've never created before, they get really excited about learning, and they're able to share what they're doing with a much wider audience. And so it gives them a sense of empowerment that is hard to match any other way.
And what would you hope would be the one piece of learning that people could take away from the talk and put into place in the classroom?
I hope that educators will come away thinking it's not about the tool, it's about who my students are becoming. Are they becoming empowered learners? Are they becoming creative communicators? Are they becoming global collaborators? Are they developing the skills that they're going to use for the rest of their life?
So I guess it's about how technology can prepare students for careers of the future, perhaps careers that we don't even exist yet.
Yes, part of my talk is about artificial intelligence. And we are actually, at ISTE, we're helping educators learn about artificial intelligence so they can help students learn about artificial intelligence. And when you look to the future, many of the jobs that are very typical today will be gone. And if we don't prepare our students for the future, for jobs that don't even exist yet, then they won't be ready for what's coming. And if you give them the right skills, those skills will transfer to whatever environment they're in.
I think that's so true, and something we've heard quite a bit is how teachers can be a bit scared of artificial intelligence and how powerful it is. And I think a lot of the power comes from it being used as a tool to help them in the classroom rather than take over from teachers.
Yeah, I mean, I think for years and years, people have been predicting that technology will replace a teacher. It hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen. Technology empowers educators. It empowers them to do their job better and to do it in a way that reaches more students. When I think about artificial intelligence, I don't think of it as threatening to a teacher. I think of it as something exciting, something that they can help their students learn, and something that as they learn with their students together, they can both go on that journey. And one of the most important things a teacher can do is show students that it's okay not to know all the answers. It's okay to have to learn new things. We're all learning new things all the time. And if they can learn side by side with their students, then they can model that great way of just engaging the world.
And what would you say is going to be one of the educational trends in education for this year?
I think there's a lot of emphasis and interest in augmented reality, whether it's AR or VR. Those technologies are just sort of coming online and they're exciting. You can, immerse yourself in a different environment, which can be really exciting. You can also use them to learn skills that would be really hard to learn if you weren't in that immersive environment. And I think, especially as they're now coming to smartphones, and the technology that you need to use them is getting simpler and cheaper, we'll see a lot more of that.
So I guess the power of the technology is to do real-life learning examples, which enable students to visualize and see things they otherwise wouldn't.
Yeah, I think the real power of augmented reality is the ability to help students experience things that they just couldn't see otherwise. When you can actually transport a student to Syria and see what it's like to be a young person there, it changes their view of global politics. When you can take them to a village in China and see and walk around in that village, it changes how they see the kids just like themselves in China. Giving that immersive experience really is remarkable. In fact, I've been in a VR simulation where I was standing on a bridge and there was a dark, deep chasm, and the person said, "Step off the bridge." And I was just standing on a floor. I couldn't do it. It was so convincing. I couldn't get my legs to move. And that's one of the magic aspects of technology. It can put you in a place so deeply. And it's not just visually, but emotionally, and put you there in a way that really connects you with that place or the people in that place.
And what are you most looking forward to at GESS when you're out here?
Well, I'm really excited at the international community that you brought together. I can't wait to engage with people from, I think, more than 90 countries. And I think that's going to be really exciting to see how they think about education, what's going on around the world. One thing that I've been really surprised at as I've traveled internationally is how similar the issues are from country to country to country. If you look at the innovations and the challenges, they're all very similar. So I think we really have a lot to learn from each other, and I'm looking forward to doing that here.
I understand ISTE has been working in the field of computational thinking. Do you want to tell me a bit more about that?
Yes, so for a long time, ISTE has been engaged in computer science, and we have computer science standards, and those have been very popular and very relevant to educators. Recently, we've seen a new emerging need for computational thinking. So computational thinking is related to computer science, but it's really something that can be brought across the curriculum. It can be embedded in different parts of the curriculum. And so it doesn't matter whether you're teaching social studies or science, you can help your students learn the skills of computational thinking, which will then help them have a foundation for computer science. And so we're really excited to look at that area and how we can help our youngest students all the way up to our older students master those skills.